yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense. That good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag. Couple hundred need a G-Wagon. Big tax on my big spending. Big facts, no pretending. We back on the full sense.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
good thing, yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred.
Oh yeah.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is
Oh, is it
sizzling.
now?
Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, testing, testing. Test, test, test. Testing, testing, testing. Testing testicles. Testing, testing, testing. Testing testicles. Testicles. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 1458 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because not flexy flex, we ow flex our biceps. What is going on, beaches, booshes, buses, hustles, and yo hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. Everest and K2 flexing on all you bitches. What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? What's going on, Slamwise Game G's? I hope you are ready for an awesome session today. We are just going to jump right into it. So, what's going on? Yaz Booshes, drop in the comments down below. What'd you train today? What'd you smash? A reminder that you can subscribe to this podcast and watch it every single day. All you got to do is check out the Daily Swole channel. It's in the related channels below. Obviously, we're streaming on the Swolenormous channel today. Hopefully, I can answer some of your questions. If you have questions, we'll get into the Q&A, the open Q&A, in just a couple moments. A little gorilla grunts, as everyone gets their notifications and comes on in through the door. Gwendol, how we doing? Welcome. Willkommen. How are we doing? Let's go Swole. Papa Swolios here. Who's ready for some NOC tomorrow? Who's ready for some real juicy sack? The sack is back, baby. The sack is back. The sack's coming. Big sack gonna get you. Big sack coming for you tomorrow. Always some good sack. Always some good shit. What'd you train today? Michael, glad I was able to catch a live session. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Chair yoga, fantabulous. I'm glad to hear it. Remember to check out Swolenormousx.com, because tomorrow is accountability meeting tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. So we'll gear that up right away. Let's get into some of the info here. Let's see here what we got. Mobility Day and the 90-day dash. Always ready for some NOC. I know you are. That's Sunday sack. Oh, that's right. We'll get into the Swole card. Yeah, the Swole card for today. There you go. There's Tess Hornaday, looking sexy like a snack. Check her out on Instagram. Instagram at Tess Hornaday, looking sexy. Look at that little beesh. Yeah,
little
beesh.
Yeah.
Hashtag Sunday Sack if you want a chance to win today's Swole card. And let's see. Let's get into some tip. Let's get into what we got going down tomorrow. Babe, just an inch. Just an inch. It's cold outside. So tomorrow we have our accountability meeting, Monday, May 4th, 12 noon Eastern time. So if you are part of the Swole fam, you will find episode 1459 tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. We go over the new releases that we got. Always some good releases, always some good sauce, always some good juice dropping in the Swole fam. So new content releases inside Swolenormous X. I'll talk all about it tomorrow. So you're not going to hear me or see me if you're not a member. Tomorrow's a members only podcast. So every Monday is for members only, and I stream live in the private group. So if you want to learn more, you want to join, check out Swolenormousx.com. So that's all the tip I got for you today. Tomorrow, at 12 noon Eastern time. Tomorrow, 12 noon, is the accountability meeting. I want to get right into the live Q&A. All right? I want to get right into live Q&A, so let's jump right on in. Fam, ask away. Ask your questions, and thou shalt receive. Thou shalt receive some knowledge cock across your brow. Open season. So, what you got for me? Any questions, drop it down below. And remember, use the hashtag AskPapaSwolio. Of course, if you want to win today's Swole card, use the hashtag SundaySack. And of course, maybe Tess will choose you. Maybe you will be the one. You will be so fortunate and you'll receive that in your mail. And then I'll tell you how you can win and how you can claim your prize at the end of today's episode. So what we got going on? What you got for me? We'll start here. Gummy pen men. How much sack is too much? You tell me. You tell me who deserves some sack. What we have going on. What we have going on. This is the one time a week when I go live here on the Swolenormous channel. So of course, every other day, dropping some knowledge cock and dropping some NOC, putting nuts on a lot of people's chins. The real question is, who gets some sack next? Who is next in line? Who is next in line to the sack throne? Who deserves a pair? What's going on in your world? How are we doing with the quarantines? Is anyone kind of getting some reprieve? Are people loosening up sanctions? I know a lot of places are, especially in Florida. Things a little bit too soon. We're going to see how this plays out. My recommendation is to not be a statistic. Don't be foolish and go running outside like an idiot thinking that it's all over. A lot of people are anticipating this whole thing turning back to normal. Oh, I can't wait for it to get back to normal. What fucking normal, people? If this wasn't a wake-up call that the normal you once knew is no longer in existence, it's time to think differently, right? It's time to think differently. Be careful. Be careful. Dennis, whatever do I think about Athlete X? I think Jeff knows his stuff. He's a physical therapist, so he knows his thing. He knows what he knows. He focuses more on athleticism. I don't really follow his content closely, but he obviously knows a lot about the human body and he helps a lot of people. You know, if you want to check on things for form, if you want to get some great information, you can go and check out his channel. I'm sure most of you do. It's kind of one of the OGs for YouTube fitness and just fitness in general. I mean, I definitely have not gone through all his content, but I'm sure I would be hard pressed to disagree with most of the stuff about kinesiology that he would be discussing. I know most of his content is athletic based. I have seen nutrition content that I strongly disagree with. I don't recall exactly what it was, but I forget there were some videos where it was about just all this like peanut butter and milk. There's a lot of dairy. I don't think anyone should be talking about nutrition unless you're leading people towards an elimination diet. I think if you're not individualizing your nutrition, you're missing the ball. For an individual, on an individual basis, if you are not, anyone listening to this or watching this, if you're not focusing on your nutrition and you haven't done elimination, you haven't really figured out, and you're not under the full understanding of how food impacts you. It's not just calorie value. It's not just how many calories. It's not a simple math equation. These foods, and especially the processed ones and the fake ones and the straight up artificial ones, they have a lot of problems. They're bringing society a lot of problems. They can cause you a lot of issues, from psychological issues to skin issues to bloating, migraines, joint pain. You're not going to feel like working out much if your body is trashed. If you are trashing your body and you're eating shitty food and you don't have good fuel, you're not going to feel like exercising. So who cares if you meet your macros if you feel like shit? It just seems like people are focused on the wrong stuff. It's easy to understand numbers. It's much harder to give up your cookie. Oh my God, I can't give up my fucking cookie. Oh my God, my fucking cookie. How am I not going to do one of my fucking mukbangs? Oh my God, how am I going to make money? How am I going to pay my rent if I can't do mukbangs? Pit bulls are mauling people and their dogs all over the US with everyone home walking. What the fuck are you talking about? Jeez, what a rough start to this Q&A. What the fuck language are you speaking? Pit bulls are mauling people? Pit bulls are great dogs. If a pit bull bites you, it's because the owner fucking sucks. I hate this bullshit. stigma about pit bulls. There are a lot of fucking dogs that bite, and pit bulls are angels if they're raised properly. If you raise a dog shit, just like a person, if you raise a person shittily, you're going to get a shitty fucking person. Put a question mark and the hashtag Ask Papa Swole if you want your question featured. If you don't put a question mark, I ain't answering your question. Must be pretty bright in that room. Myoswolitis like a motherfucker. Dig it or quit it. Don't like it? Get the fuck out. It's very bright. Trying to shield all your shitty questions. It's crazy how many families decide to grill outside. I asked my doctor why people are barbecuing ever since the quarantine, and she said, I don't know. It truly is weird. Please tell me why. Is that a riddle or something? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? What is going on here? Use the hashtag no question mark. How would you recommend maintaining motivation while working at a home? Sucking it up and fucking doing it. Motivation is bullshit. Make it happen. You're never going to feel like it. That's not an excuse. You don't maintain motivation. Force momentum. Just start. Push it. Do it. Do it. Motivation ain't going to happen. You're not going to feel like, hey, I can't wait to stay inside and work out at home. Maybe you do. I work out. I'm loving working out at home. I don't want to go back to the gym, really. I think this is going to be great for a lot of people. I think people are going to see how much they can get done at home. They're going to save a lot of money and a lot of time. What are your favorite red meats to eat? I like ribeye steaks. Whiskey and weights. First steps for a pre-diabetic to lower A1C. Probably lay off the whiskey, lay off the alcohol, whiskey and weights. First steps, I would talk to your doctor. There's your first step right there. You could also check out my content on the elimination diet, but if you know your A1C is high, you're going to have to talk to your doctor. I'm not going to give you medical advice here. I have a lot of opinions on what I would do to stay healthy. Follow the same advice as I give everyone else. It's the best way to do it. Rachel, how do you fight depression to get your workout in? Well, I'm not a psychologist, but at the same time, are you sure do you suffer from depression, or are you just saying you have low mood? A lot of people throw around that word depression like it's a fucking tic tac. So depression, just from my personal experience with people in the Swole fam and people that I've helped through this, because I'm not counseling anyone directly, but with exercise, nutrition, one of the things with the 7 pillars of Swolenormous is if you are following these fundamental principles, you're taking care of your community, the people in your circle, you are eating the right food, you're not pounding garbage, sugar, and vegetable oils and trash so your brain can actually function properly. You're exercising regularly, you're recovering, you're getting sleep, you're hydrating, you're practicing yoga, you're meditating. A lot of those low moods and those bouts with depression will get much, much better. And a lot of people feel like they've managed it completely with focusing on these pillars, by focusing on these areas. It's not magic. It's just hard work and effort. You need to work on your brain the same way you have to work on your body, the same way you have to work on your relationships, the same way you have to study in school. If you want to get a good grade on the test, you have to study the material, no matter what test it is or exam. You have to expose yourself to those kinds of practices, and you have to build those habits. That's why it's so much more about the habits that you're building rather than what your goal is. You want to lose weight or build muscle? It's the same fucking habits you got to form. It's the same habits, just the details are different. Any tips into getting a flat stomach? Check out my content on the elimination diet. I would cut out a lot of these garbage foods. You see how similar these questions are all the time? This is why my content, that's why it's so simple. That's why fitness and getting these things in order is so simple. Most people have the same question. How do I get a flat stomach? Well, what's the problem? Look at the 7 pillars. Are you watching too much fucking TV? Are you around people that are miserable? Are you meditating? Are you doing yoga? Are you training regularly? Are you eating properly? Are you eating a lot of processed carbohydrates and sugars? And like, it's really not that complicated, but most people don't do that. And then most people don't do that consistently. So it's one thing if you eat well for a couple of weeks, but are you doing it for months and years? No. Well, how do you expect to get results? It takes consistency. That's why that's pillar number 7. That's why you got to fucking take care of yourself. I'll bring up the 7 pillars right now. That way we can talk about it, because a lot of people might be unawares of what they are. Let's actually bring them up right now. That way this might answer a few questions. And if you want to download this, you could download it for free. It's at the top of the page on swolenormousx.com. So pillar 1 is community. Your environment is a reflection of your choices. It will shape who you are and who you will become. Nutrition. Do not pursue quantity at the expense of quality. Your body requires specific fuel to function optimally. And what this means is your octane, not just the amount of gallons. So it's not just filling up your tank, it's what is filling up your tank. What are the contents of what you're consuming? Training, what are your actual needs and goals? And are you training appropriately, or are you just trying to exhaust yourself and bleed from the eyes and just do a little HIIT workout and think that's going to get you specific results? Recovery, invest in your physical and psychological health. Okay, this can be proper programming. This can be nutrition. There are a lot of other pillars that can feed into recovery. Yoga, mindfulness, sleep, all these things feed into recovery. It's more about, a lot of people think they're overtraining when they're really under recovering. So revolve your program around recovery. Pillar 5, mobility. Your ability to move through space is a unique privilege. Damn straight. Do not take it for granted. Move your fucking body, because the number one thing you lose when you get older is mobility. The soonest thing you lose. Mindfulness is pillar number 6. Control what you can control and release what you cannot. Find stability in the struggle and peace in your process. So mindfulness training, this is the brain gains meditation that I always talk about in the beginning of every Nuts on Chin video on the Daily Swole inside Swolenormous X. It's brain gains, it's mindfulness training, it's approaching your body and your training, not just physically, it's approaching your training and your body, it's approaching it psychologically. Your brain controls all this shit. If you don't get out of your own fucking head and get out of your own way, you're going to keep on having roadblocks, you're going to keep on struggling. And of course, what most people don't do, pillar number 7, consistency. Execution is everything. Passion and purpose will forge this pillar in perpetuity, and you will have your results if you stick to that. But most people don't do any of that. And then most people aren't consistent. Even if they do it for a week or 2 or a couple months, they don't do it over and over again for years. And that's what it takes. All right. So if I don't answer your question or if I miss it, you can ask it again, and I'll try to catch up and stay as current as possible. Gihad Bedoya. Tips. How did you go about growing out your beard properly? I'm trying to grow out a good beard like yours. Well, genetics help, and also a good diet. A good diet, sleeping properly. You can take things for hair, skin, and nails like collagen and stuff like that. But I mean, what really grows a beard aside from genetics and proper diet and rest? You know, if you take care of your body and your health and you have good genetics for a beard, some people just don't grow a beard. I don't really know what to tell you. It's not like you just rub your face and with a certain serum and a beard grows. So some people eat like shit and have epic beards. So you can't just like pin one thing. Will the Penguin. Thank you for being there. I have lost about 15 pounds. Oh, you're welcome. I thought that was a question. You're welcome. Good shit. Resistance band recommendations. Body Elastics makes good ones. Any ones with good reviews on Amazon. Make sure to read the reviews. If it's got good reviews, and try it. Are we in for more awesome releases tomorrow in the accountability meeting? Fuck yeah, we are. Swole fan peeps, a reminder if you're just showing up now, tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, we have our accountability meeting in the private group. So if you want to join, you could join for less than $3 if you just want to get your foot in the door and check out the private Swole fam. But for everyone, especially unlimited members, of course, those new releases dropping tomorrow. It's going to be fire. I'm super stoked. Super stoked. Steven, your thoughts on Blueprint to Cut by Arnold? Just got my new weights and looking to get gains. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Is that like a video or something? I don't, whatever it is, I don't know of it well enough. I appreciate people thinking like I know every program out there. I know what everyone's done in every video everyone's ever posted. I think that's the misconception about people that make videos on YouTube and do content, that I'm aware of what everyone else is doing. Whether it's Arnold or whether it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm so busy creating my shit. I haven't seen all the other little things that people are doing, nor do I really care. But I'm glad you got weights. I'm glad you'll make some gains. Make some gains. There are folks who think organic or grass-fed foods are overrated. What would be your response? I don't care what they think they're overrated, then don't eat them. More for me. I think foods should be grown as well as they possibly can. I think animals that we consume should eat the food that they're supposed to consume. I want my animal to be healthy. I know everyone's going to argue, but then you kill the animal. Look, I want my food to be healthy. If I could hunt and I would hunt all my food, then I would. I think we should be eating animals that are fucking doing what they should be doing, just like humans should be doing what humans should be doing. When we sit around and stuff fucking face and don't exercise, we get fat, we look like shitty humans. I don't want to eat a shitty fucking cow. If I was a cannibal, I'd want to eat a healthy human, wouldn't you? If we were a cannibalistic society, I'd want to eat a healthy human. I wouldn't want to eat a fucking morbidly obese human being. Ugh. I wouldn't want to eat a morbidly obese cow, which is what's going on. They're getting fed grains and pumped full of all that crap and corn and soy. They're eating shit that they shouldn't. They're barely moving. They're growing way too fast, but it doesn't matter if they walk after a few months or a year or whatever it is. They're going to get slaughtered anyway. The factory farming's a fucking disgusting mess. So are you saying those people think it's overrated? Like you could just eat regular garbage food? Just look at the population. Everyone's getting fat and sick and diabetic and Alzheimer's. People are getting more and more unhealthy on a large scale. So what most people think is okay is obviously not the right way to do it. How about that for common sense and just observation? The vast majority are unhealthy. The vast majority are becoming fat and unhealthy, and just so whatever they're doing, don't do that. That's good advice. That's good advice in this situation. Look at what obese, lazy, and just fucking unhealthy people do, and don't do that. It's probably a good idea. Avoid what people that get shit results do. Dennis, my opinion about dry sauna. Are there wet saunas, or you mean like a steam room? I've never used I don't think I've ever used an infrared one, but I like regular ones. I like them a lot. Thoughts on Greg Doucet diet? I have no idea about it. His diet. I don't know anything about it. I know of him. I know his videos and stuff. I don't know his diet. Cindy, you inspired me to start my YouTube channel. Good. I hope you're not doing mukbangs though. Don't make me sorry. Uh-oh. Put out some good content. Enjoy. Thoughts on pre-workout with stimulants? Well, what kind of stimulant? Caffeine? You got to be careful. You got to be careful. If you're going to opt for something like that, understand that a lot of these things haven't had any real long-term studies. A lot of the ingredients, and there's a couple layers to this, a lot of the ingredients in the studies that these companies are referencing use much higher dosages than they provide you. So you might not have the amount that would provide the efficacy of what the study actually showed. So for example, if a study showed that, oh, this worked with athletes that took 5 grams or 10 grams, and then you buy your pre-workout or whatever and it has 1 gram, that's not really something that's going to help you necessarily. So you could be wasting your money. Also, a lot of these things taste like shit. If you buy the raw ingredients for what you're looking for and you make it yourself, it's going to taste like shit. So they put a ton of artificial sweeteners in there. So you have to be careful. And if you're doing an elimination diet, a lot of times people will find that if they take certain supplements, it'll bother them. I've taken a magnesium supplement before and I got nasty heartburn. because there were steer rates and stuff, and I didn't read the fine print. I didn't see on the back. I thought I was buying something on Amazon, and I guess I had looked at the back of the wrong one and thought that this was that one when I purchased, when you have a couple windows open kind of thing. So I stopped taking that product, and then it went away. So you're going to find sensitivities, but most people aren't aware that you can have those kinds of sensitivities. Most people don't realize that they can have side effects from not just the calorie value or the active ingredient. One little addition could be the problem. So you can make this stuff yourself, but you have to get a scale and be really mindful of that. It's just, it depends on the individual. Some people don't recognize, because they don't really eat healthy and they're not aware of these things, that they just take all the stuff that gets masked by all the other problems and all the other flavorings and sugars that they consume, and they just feel generally stuck and they're not getting results. But it's because 20, 30, 40 fucking habits and 40 things that they're doing and eating and consuming are combining to create this situation where they can't get results and they're kind of hitting a wall. So pre-workout supplements, you can buy raw ingredients. You could just drink some black coffee. I go back and forth. There are some natural ones that you can get that are plain, that aren't flavored. But then, there's always a risk. Anytime you eat something, even if it says, okay, it's only raw ingredients, are there impurities? Is it done at a lab that has or that uses similar equipment to something that maybe you do have a problem with? There's a lot of loopholes. So it depends. Are they necessary? They're not. The most fundamental and most well-studied, or one of them, stimulants is caffeine. So most people are fine with caffeine. Some people aren't. But it's really a much safer alternative because you know exactly what's in it. Not really. I don't drink that much coffee, maybe to someone that doesn't drink any coffee. I have like one container of coffee a day. Sometimes a little extra. I don't drink a ton of coffee though. Most people don't need that much caffeine once they're sleeping enough. Once you actually get some good sleep, you realize how little stimulant you need because, this is what it feels like to be rested. I get you. Duncan McTaggart. What's up? How often should you practice yoga? That depends. That depends on what you want to accomplish. That depends on how much time you have. That depends on how experienced you are with yoga. If you're brand new to yoga, I wouldn't do it every day unless you're doing a really small amount and you're doing a non-overloading flow because you're still using muscles that you haven't used. So it's very normal when you start doing yoga to feel really sore. It's normal to feel really banged up. It's normal to feel rough around the edges and really stiff and sore because you're waking up these stabilizer muscles. You're really shaking up your fucking body. So it's one of those things that, even though it's very recovery focused and recovery based in terms of people that, those of you that are part of the Swole fam that have been doing yoga in the yoga studio and the Swole classes and the Swollen 7, once you start practicing mobility regularly, you can do that. And even if you push yourself and you're sweating and you have like a hard yoga session, you're getting recovery benefits because your body has adapted to that. But when you're brand new, you're waking up muscles and you're moving in different planes of motion that maybe you never have, and it can fuck your world up. You can get really sore. So when you first start, you need an all levels flow and something that's scaled to your abilities. And I would start maybe doing it every other day for 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer depending on what you're doing. Hard to say just from a question online. But that's a great way to start. And your best way to know is, hey, how do you feel the next day? One of the things I will say for anyone starting with any kind of training and any kind of yoga, whatever it is, less is more. Less is more. If you're doing less, you're fine. So many people want to feel and they do too much at the beginning because when you first start training, what happens? You feel great. You feel great because you've never worked out before. You're not sore. You feel awesome. You go and you crush it. Remember, come on, how many of you have been out of the gym for a week? You went on vacation, or even after the quarantine, you didn't really lift a lot of weights, and all of a sudden the gyms are going to open again eventually, and then you go back and you just crush it because you feel great. You can't wait to work out. You are going to be crippled. How many people are going to go back to the gym and fuck themselves up? That's a statistic that will be impossible to gather. How many people are going to go back to the gym after the stay-at-home orders and stuff or whenever they open again, and just overdo it completely because they don't realize that the band training and the little dumbbells and the Bowflex dumbbells and shit that they have at home is nothing like a heavy barbell. People are going to find out real quick the importance of exercise specificity and the specificity and the mechanical load of machines and weights and stuff. People are going to get banged the fuck up. A lot of people are going to think that they're just, hey, I can just jump in where I left off, put the weight on the same thing. Oh, my strength is still here. Oh, I still got it. Yep. You're going to be so fucking sore. A lot of people are going to be jacked up going back to the gym and going too hard. I'm scrolling all the way down to catch up. Let's see here. Bow, bow, bow. What are your thoughts on drinking milk for gaining muscle? The saturated fat, I would not drink milk to gain muscle. A lot of people have issues with lactose. A lot of people have a lot of fucking skin issues, migraines, bloating from lactose. Saturated fat is not the problem. It's the dairy. It's the lactose. A lot of people have issues with it. You can opt for, that's one of the number one things you want to cut out on your elimination diet to test your sensitivities to it. And there are better choices, but very few people have access to raw milk or certain types of milk, but there's different types out there. There's A2 milk. There's different sources. Some people have better digestibility with other types of milk, but the standard pasteurized farm factory milk jacks a lot of people up, but it's very addictive. You've been eating it since you were a child and sucking down cereal and putting milk on everything. That's why people have a real hard time getting rid of it. But just for context, I'm not just saying, oh, don't drink milk. Like, oh, I'm not just running my mouth. How many of you, especially those of you that are part of the Swole fam, that have done an elimination diet? And we do this now and again, but drop in the comments if you've seen the benefits, or if you've gotten rid of dairy and milk, and what your reaction was, or what your feelings or what your sensitivities were for dairy. D2H, have you seen that glitter and laser beach running? Oh, I see her on TikTok. She doesn't let me duet her videos. She blocks it because she's afraid of criticism because it's gross. She looks painful. She looks painfully obese. So I hope she takes care of herself. I hope she takes care of herself and loses weight just for her joints and for her body and for her longevity. I hope she takes care of herself. But I mean, flaunting the whole obesity thing I think it's fucked up. What do you think about weight loss pills? No. I would never recommend anyone taking them. Emma Hyde, how to reset hunger signals. I force myself to eat at least once a day after a good workout. I lost 10 pounds in 2 months. I'm 5 foot and 88 pounds now. How old are you? It sounds like you should have like someone in your corner physically. I mean, I don't know in this situation, but yeah, how old are you? I don't remember the last time I was 88 pounds. That was like middle school. Resetting hunger signals is very individualized. It's hard. There's a lot of damage that can happen as a result of eating crap or not sleeping properly. So the endocrine system can sometimes take a long time, months and years, to be healed. A lot of people do damage to their bodies for 20 or 30 years and then think that changing habits for a couple of weeks is going to make a night and day decision. You know, a lot of these questions, I mean, and some of these are good questions, and some of these are just, this is the type of question because a lot of people tend to try to find an answer to something that's not the actual issue, right? We talk about symptoms. Now, if you're looking for, hey, how do I get a flat stomach? That's not really the right place to approach it. If you're taking care of the fundamentals, that will be the result. But people don't look at the habits. They don't go fundamental enough. They don't go foundational enough. Anne, need some advice about upping calories. I run a ton and 1,700 seems to be too low of a deficit. Any advice on finding a good caloric range for fat loss? it seems to be. How vague. Then eat more. Need some advice on upping calories. If you run a ton and 17 seems to be too low, then eat more. Love the videos. Thank you. You're welcome. Eat some more food. I mean, are you trying to lose weight? Fat loss and performance? That's not how fitness works. Fat loss and performance. You're trying to do two different fucking things. Everyone wants everything, right? You want your cake and eat it too. You want to run, you want to lose weight, but you want to perform better. What do you like? You have to focus on one thing. I would focus a little bit less on running. If you're not lifting weights, lift weights, practice yoga, do some extra cardio. But if you're overweight, I'd be very cautious running because you can cause yourself a lot of overload damage, especially if you're running heel to toe and jacking on your fucking joints all the time. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but if you're telling me that it seems to be too low, then eat more and then see if you're still losing weight. An elimination diet can help too, but that's not a performance diet. So just be mindful if you check out my content on elimination diet. Scrolling down to the bottom. Let's see. Silvers, I found I have a dairy intolerance. And it just makes my whole digestive system feel like shit and breaks me out terribly. That's super common. Yeah, it looks like we're having a little bit. Man, the weekends are brutal for internet, huh? If you're just listening to the podcast, we kind of broke out. We're reconnecting for a little bit. So I'll just kind of continue and we'll see what happens. If it goes offline, then we'll just, we'll leave it. Looks like it might come back for a little bit, but the questions, huh? Podcast peeps, the questions. People are worried about the wrong stuff sometimes. D2H. I'm just going to continue. What do you recommend for cardio? I'm currently doing sprint intervals and weighted jump rope. I don't know about weighted jump rope, but jump rope is fine. Kettlebell stuff is great. Also, yoga's fine. I mean, sprints are fine. That's like that's what I would do. That's what I would do for cardio. I wouldn't do like standard, just regular long duration cardio. That's not my thing. You can go for a walk and stuff, but in terms of running, I think a lot of people just do that unnecessarily. Yeah, for those of you that are watching, it seems like Saturdays and Sundays have always been kind of like push and pull, right? It must just be the weekend. It must just be the server overloads. But this happened last Saturday, and I think it happened last Sunday too. The week is fine. During the week is fine. This happens on the weekends. Interesting. Yeah, don't worry. If I'm buffering, I know I'm buffering. Like I have all the stats in front of me. It's not like I don't know what's going on, so I appreciate it. If it cuts out, I know. If it cuts out though, if it like actually cuts out, I'm not going to come back online. So I'll be cutting off and then I'll just upload what we have. So only if it's like it stops at the beginning, I'll try again. But once we go this deep into the podcast, I'm not going to start over again. Thoughts on Ziz? I don't. Was he overall good or bad in terms of what? That was like before. That was like early internet. That was like early 2000s. I mean, I think a lot of people are following his terrible approach. Obviously, he had a lot of fucking issues because he died. So, I mean, it gave birth to a lot of this fitness influencer nonsense, but it's social media. People love attention. This was always going to happen, whether he was here or not. We would have had this fitness influencer shit long, no matter what. He didn't create the fitness influencer, but he was kind of like before. He was the original person who did all that shit. Waffle Chucker on Twitch. What up, Papa? I snapped my leg bad. Ooh. Doing PT finally. 3 surgeries later. What kind of cardio can I be doing without using my foot? Well, what does your physical therapist and your orthopedist say? Go by what they say first. You can maybe do some kind of aqua training. Can you do something in the water without using your foot? You can, this is all depending on where you live. I mean, if your shit's shut down in your area, you can't just access this stuff. But upper body, upper arm ergometers, you can do upper arm cardio. there are upper body cardiovascular methods. You can also do a very light kettlebell and do something seated. So if you're sitting down, you could do like upper body, like some kettlebell lifts in a chair. You could do a lot of stuff with just your arms and get your heart rate up. Butterfly, sugar baby, does reps and weights matter? Of course. That's one of the few things that does matter when it comes to lifting. It's like your volume and your intensity. Do I do high weight and low rep or low weight? What do you want to accomplish? Vague. What do you have access to? What are your goals? What's your experience? How old are you? Can't answer those questions accurately unless there's a lot more context. So it absolutely matters, of course. Hubze Bay. I'm good with nutrition, but I work on the activity side of fitness. I need to work on the activity side of fitness. You mean you need to exercise? And building a habit of it, where should I start on Swolenormous X? Are you an unlimited member or are you just interested in joining? And if I don't get to the second part, just those of you that are in the comments that are members, you can add additional comments if I don't see the follow-up to this. But if you're a member, you want to start with something that you can maintain. So we have the 90-day dash program, which is for all levels. You can modify it, but you could also start with just classes in the yoga studio or one of the Swollen 7s. So the great thing about the Swollen 7s is that they're progressive, but you can also just do 7 minutes. So even if a workout is challenging for you, it's just 7 minutes. You don't have to do too much volume. So it allows you to kind of to scale things. Noah, trying to lose that 5 pounds on my cut, but I've been in a plateau the last 2 weeks. Any tips? 5'10", 152. Why are you cutting, bro? You're 5'10", 152 pounds. Holy shit. Dude, bulk. This is just my opinion. Put on some muscle. 5'10", 152 pounds. Trying to reach that nice 10 to 12% body fat? Like that Steven Tyler Aerosmith look? Dude, lift some weights. Come on. You got to bulk up. 5'10"? This is just my opinion. It's time for you to bulk. Fuck the cutting. Why are you cutting? Any tips? Maybe your body doesn't want to be that skinny. Maybe your body doesn't want to be that lean. I don't know what you're eating. I'd have to know more about your training. What can you do? I mean, you don't want to just keep on eating less calories. But it could be depending on what you're consuming, your other habits, sleeping, training habits, what foods you're consuming, other aspects. Alexa Schlotterbeck. Good fucking name. Jessica. I'd rather not answer that. I think I said Alexa by accident, so she turned on. Jessica Schlotterbeck. Papa Swole, I have a very puffy stomach. It looks decent from the front, but I look like a damn buffalo from the side. How do I fix it? I'm 16, female, and weigh 140 pounds about. I would look into an elimination diet. You're getting all your macros. You're not missing any macronutrients. A lot of times bloating can come from, you can have nasty bloating from things like dairy, grains, processed foods. You can get tons and tons and tons and tons of bloating. So I don't know what you're eating, but that would be the first place I would recommend looking. Genin 99. If you can go to any time period, what time period would you go to? Like forever? I would stay now. I don't want to go anywhere. Any time period, would I want to go back a long time where there was nothing? You don't know anyone's language. You can't speak the language. People think English now is English then. Not true. You're not going to be able to communicate with someone 500 years ago. So, yeah, I'm not too sure about that. Everyone's worried about not having a vaccine now. Yeah, you go back a little bit in time, they didn't have a vaccine for fucking polio 100 years ago. Was it 100 years ago? When was a polio vaccine? Yeah, right? What, 1920? When was a polio vaccine come out? Whatever. Not sure I'd want to go anywhere. AS, what exercises do you recommend to strengthen knees? Glute work. Glute work, lateral work, make sure you're moving in all planes of motion. Yoga and glute activation work, all aspects of your glute gluteus medius, gluteus maximus, do stabilization exercises. Yoga is fantastic. Let's see here. What's up, Dustins? How we doing? What are my thoughts on extended fasting? Like what, over a day? It gets pretty sketchy. It gets pretty iffy. I mean, you really want to be under like medical observation. You want to make sure that it's healthy for you to do those things, especially if you haven't done it before. But there's nothing wrong with just skipping meals and doing intermittent fasting or doing a day. Your body will be fine. But if you talk about longer term, you have to know what you're doing and you have to work up to it. And you can't just, hey, I'm not going to eat for a week. I know people do it. My thoughts on it are, I don't know the latest research, but it's definitely normal for human beings to be without food. I think it's great for people to be without food. I think people have put food on such a pedestal that if you don't have food all the time during the day, all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm starving. No, you're not. Your body has plenty of energy. That feeling of hunger is supposed to come around when you really need to go and hunt food, not because it's 6 o'clock and you ate at 12. Oh, I'm hungry. That's not a real proper hunger mechanism. It really isn't. That's just like the classic, because your body is used to eating at those times. If you eat at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock every day, your body is going to feel hungry at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, because not only is your body ready for food because it's been programmed to expect food at that time, it's just like, you're eating that amount at that time. Your body will be going through it. You're just creating that assembly line, and your body is going to start expecting food at that time. So you're going to feel hungry, and then you forget that you're not really hungry. You're just trained. If you eat at the same time all the time, you're going to feel up here. You're going to feel hungry at that time. It's your body saying, oh, we have this to do. Oh, we have this to do. If you're used to getting up, if you're in the military and you're used to getting up at 5 o'clock every day, you're probably going to be getting up early the rest of your life. If you always grew up getting up super early, chances are, and you're just programmed for it. It's just training. It's just training and programming and habit building. Do I get a YouTube plaque? I don't think it's guaranteed. I think they have to offer it. I don't know. Maybe. Will I be hanging it up? No. I mean, I'll accept it. I'll get it, but I'm not putting it behind me or any of that bullshit. I hate that when someone has their play button behind them. Ugh. It's like, so? It's a weird flex. Weird. How do you subvert carb cravings? You make better choices. You don't bring shit food into your house. You get better sleep. A lot of times carbohydrate cravings is because you're chronically exhausted and or dehydrated. And also that you're not getting proper nutrients. Your body has these cravings because it's missing. And then there's other aspects of, insulin roller coasters and blood sugar drops and stuff when you're eating a lot of carbohydrates in your diet. Any advice on strengthening bones? Lift weights. Yeah, why are there so many young people here today? A lot of children here. You never know. You never know. It's all right. It's kind of fun here going here live once a week, but I'm always open to, doesn't mean that we always will be. We used to go live on the other channel, so it might go back to that. It's all good. It might go back to that. So polio was the 1950s. Oh, later than I thought. I thought it was a little bit earlier. 1955. I thought it was a little bit earlier than that. Very good. Look at this. Look at that. Tanvira, hi. How to encourage a partner to go on daily walks with me. I love the gym and he's a home buddy. Now we're both home buddies, trying to find a happy medium. Ask how to encourage to go on daily walks. Go on a daily walk. create some kind of good, positive loop, positive feedback. Like after you go on a daily walk, you do something that he enjoys. You know, you do something like that's his choice or her choice. You do things together. You know, if there's like maybe you don't have to have a conversation. Maybe there's a podcast that he likes listening to or a favorite show he can listen to. You both listen to something, walk together. I don't know. I think what people are going to find out a lot from this quarantine is that the person that they're with sucks. Like, oh shit, I don't really like spending a lot of time with this person. Jorge Bravo. Lately, I've been feeling weak, but I do suffer from bad anxiety and bad GERD. Is it a good idea to still work out? But I do struggle while I'm working out and then feel shitty after. Sounds like you need medical attention. I've been feeling weak, but I do suffer from, and you know, it might be something that's stemming from your nutrition. It could be a lot of things. I mean, obviously, you're telling me your symptoms and what the problem is, but usually that's it's coming from your habits and stuff. And of course, when you have anxiety, some of the stuff can be genetic, but if someone is someone that, let's say you're a person that suffers from anxiety, drinking a ton of coffee is probably not a good idea. You know, eating a lot of sugar isn't a good idea. You suffer from being tense and being all wound up. Sucking down tons of sugar isn't a good idea. So just something to think about. I would look into the nutrition first. How to overcome sugar addiction. I eat clean. I lift by the end of the night around 10 p.m. I cannot overcome the urge for sugar because you're supposed to be sleeping. You're probably chronically exhausted, not drinking enough water, not getting proper nutrients. You should be sleeping. If your body is exhausted, it's going to trigger sugar cravings so you get more energy. So you're probably chronically sleep deprived or not getting quality sleep. A lot of people think that they sleep 8 hours. Oh, I'm getting good sleep. What about the quality of sleep? It's better to get 7 real solid hours of sleep, completely blacked out room, cold room, all the things, you know, a solid night's sleep, or 8 hours and you're tossing and turning and up that's not 8 hours of sleep. So the quality sucks. Same thing with the food. I'm not a sleep expert. I'm just saying like these are things that you can look into and be aware of. It's one thing to give an answer. I can't exactly tell you what the problem is, but get you thinking about a couple things differently. Elias Marquit. Can I maintain muscle while being in a calorie deficit of over 1,000 calories per day? I doubt it. If you're eating 1,000 calories less a day, if you're very, very overweight, very obese, but if you're just eating 1,000 calories less, it's going to be very hard for you to maintain muscle. You're going to lose muscle. 12 to 1,500 calories. Why are you eating so low? 5'8", 183 pounds. Why are you eating so low? Are you exercising? Are you lifting? Over 1,000 calories is a lot. You're not going to maintain muscle. You're going to start losing for sure. Make sure you guys put question marks, because if I just see, I'm not reading every statement. I'm looking for question marks. So if you just make a statement, I'm not going to see it. Man, some of these questions are terrible. You know, they say there's never dumb questions. Oh my God, there are dumb questions. Gabriel Arzate. Why is cardio put on a pedestal? Probably the 80s. Probably the 80s and the cardio boom, the Jane Fonda workouts and shit like that. Remember that shit? Remember all the aerobics? That's where it really started. I mean, of course, there was bodybuilding before, but the aerobics in the 80s and the 90s. So I think it was just always, I think it's the same way why, think about this. It's a really good question. So why is it put on a pedestal? Think about how social media didn't exist. Social media didn't exist. It was it was regular communication. It was newspapers, it was magazines, it was VHS and DVDs, but eventually, but it was just commercials. So things took a lot longer to catch on, and when things caught on, it was kind of like a lurching thing. It was kind of like the religion. It just kind of built itself into the culture, and it's hard to unlearn that stuff. The same way why low-fat diets are still getting promoted. Remember, like the 60s, they cut out 60s and 70s, they cut out all the tallow and all that, and they started pumping tons of soy and corn, and then it became vegetable oil city, and then everything was fried in vegetable oils, not beef tallow, and everything fat was the enemy. And we're still fighting that today. We're still fighting that misinformation today. Same thing with cardio. It doesn't mean that cardio is bad. It's just not the answer for fat loss. It's just a component of something that can increase your cardiovascular capacity. And I'm not saying it's not healthy. I'm not saying there aren't benefits. It's you lift weights, it'll improve your muscles adaptation. If you do cardiovascular activity, it's going to improve your cardiovascular capacity for that activity. Your body is just an adaptation. It's going to adapt to the environment you put it in. You do a ton of cardiovascular training, you're going to get better at that. You're not going to get better at weights. You lift a lot of weights, but no cardio, you're going to get out of breath if you do something that someone that does a lot of cardio does, but you're lifting weights. You practice a lot of yoga, it's not going to necessarily get you better at fucking bike riding. It's specificity. So your body's going to adapt to the stress you put it under. And then it was just a cultural thing. And then it kind of just lingered. Hey, cardio, going for a run. I got to lose weight. If you're overweight, don't run. And don't be running to lose weight. Fucking extra body mass on undertrained body, just jamming on your fucking joints. It's the stupidest thing you should do. You could do. Yeah, leg warmers and spandex, see? Sunday sack. Hashtag some Sunday sack. Good hashtag. Yeah, no shit. It's not fat. It's fucking sugar. See, that's another thing. D2H. I enjoy cardio a lot, but I always get my lifts on. If you enjoy cardio, I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to enjoy something. I like that movie. No, you don't. If you like doing cardio, that's fine. But understand if you're doing tons and tons of cardio, it's going to be a factor in limiting your ability to adapt to other things like building muscle and lifting heavy. You have to focus your attention where you want the results. You want to get better at just doing yoga. That's your focus. Then you should be biasing your training towards more yoga. If you want to get so much better at yoga, but then you're lifting 6 days a week and you're only doing yoga once, how much better are you going to get? It's going to take you a lot longer, and your body's going to fight against it. Everything's getting tight, pumped, swole, and then you're just not moving enough. You're not going to balance it out. Christopher, can one start a mukbang channel if it was, say, all healthy greens? Well, I guess it'd be a vegan mukbang. They have them. I'm sure they have them. I know they have them. Can one? What do you mean? Are you asking me? You asking Papa permission to start a mukbang channel? You do whatever you want. No guarantee that I won't make a video on you, though. Maybe I will. If you're eating all greens. Yeah. Abel, what are your thoughts on protein bars? I don't eat them. I mean, it depends on if you're getting like a whole food bar that's like mashed into a bar. It still comes down to what foods does your body work best with, and are those foods in that fucking bar? People are eating these bars like, oh, there's only dates and fucking granola and shit in there. Well, maybe you shouldn't be having gluten. Maybe you shouldn't be having that much sugar. Maybe you don't react well with dates. Then it's a shitty fucking protein bar. Most of them suck. Most of those supplements are trash. They're fucking garbage. You don't need them. It's better to go without eating than to eat that shit. It's just a little fucking, just fast a little bit. Go without a little bit of food. You don't need to stuff food in your fucking face every 2 seconds. So that's how I usually think of it. It's an opportunity to fast. It's an opportunity to build some discipline. It's an opportunity to allow your body to reset, to cleanse itself out, X, Y, Z, autophagy and whatnot. I don't eat all the time. I don't eat until later in the day. I haven't eaten anything today. I had a little piece of fruit. What did I have? Did I have any watermelon today? Maybe a couple pieces, maybe a clementine earlier. Had some coffee. I don't think I had anything else yet, but I'm going to in a little bit. I'm going to eat. Should a 12-year-old like me be watching this? No, you shouldn't. So sign off. You can, but naughty words. That's not my responsibility to keep you from being on my channel. That's YouTube's or your parents. So, thoughts on BCAAs? Trying to be a lady. I don't consume them. I don't consume BCAAs. BPAs. Well, you don't want BPAs either. How can you gain weight when you have a low metabolism, a slow? Very easily. Oh, I think I'm having allergic reactions to this Ask Papa Swolio session today. Yo, what's going on, people? What's going on? What happened here? What is going on? This is fucking hilarious. We're going to talk about this tomorrow in the accountability meeting. Fam, what? What is going on? Maybe this show, maybe it won't be the Ask Papa Swolio. We'll just turn into the Sunday Sack. I like that. Nah, this is fine. It's all right. Who knows? Hit or miss. Hit or miss. Hey, that's what we do. What the fuck is going on, right? Come on, Swole fam. My Swole fam. What? They're in there. There's some good stuff in here. There's some good questions. Don't get me wrong. But we got some freaky shit today. I feel like this video got accidentally sent to YouTube Kids or something. It's on the wrong app. Everyone ran out of good questions, maybe. What, if I answer them all sufficiently? I don't think so. Le béquite dépressif. Whatever. How many times a week should you do yoga and mobility? Is once a week enough? If you could do it more, I recommend it. I recommend doing it more. Oh, fuck you, Josh. God damn it. I saw this question. I was like, what the? And I saw it was you. All right. Found a baseball on a walk. Do you think baseball, or is that a serious question? Whatever. In today's episode, that could be a trolling question. That could be an actual question. Do I think baseball season will open? I mean, they're probably going to try to do something just to get people satisfied or something to talk about. I don't think it should open. I don't think it should open. I think everyone's opening their shit up too soon. That's what she said. Ha, prom night. I think states and I think people are laxing their restrictions too early. We don't know everything yet. I know the economy is really hurting and there's that, okay, we have to open. I think I'm between because a lot of people are unfortunately going to think that it's over. We're back to normal. I think you do need to come to a point where people make their own decisions. And if they want to go outside, then it's their risk. But this is going to, I don't know. Thank you, Sarah. Save yourself. Save yourself, Sarah. Protect yourself. What's the one mistake people make when trying to lose weight, especially if the person is overweight, obese? The one mistake, it's not one. There's many. Thinking that the goal is what's important. Keeping that number in their head. Most people that want to lose weight, they say they want to lose 100 pounds. Most people don't understand the concept of 100 pounds or what it is. It's a flat number. That's why no one says, I want to lose 43 pounds. They say, I want to lose 50. I want to lose 70 pounds. I need to lose 100. I need to lose 150. I need to lose 200. It's a flat number. It's always a flat, even number. So most people hang their hat on the goal. They're trying to aim for this goal in which they fall short inevitably, or once they achieve their goal, they're not satisfied because the goal that's not really what the goal should be. That's the result. That's a side effect from making proper habitual change. That's a side effect from actually following the 7 pillars and doing what you need to do. So it's just a misframing of what they actually want. That's what they think they want, but that's aiming for that is not how they're going to get it. They have to think differently about their life, and then it will lead to that weight loss. What do I think about Dr. Sebi as far as his, I have never heard of this person in my life. Sexual chocolate. Talk to me. Have you ever gotten injured while doing an exercise? Yeah. Yup. I mean, I've gotten injured doing sprints. I've gotten injured doing like lunges in the gym with weights, like step back lunges. I've gotten injured doing windmills with a kettlebell. I lost my balance and my arm slid back and went to the ground. I fucking popped my hammy a little bit. I've done some shit. Sure. I mean, if you move your body, man, have you stubbed your toe walking around your house? Sure. You know, you lift weights for years, you're going to have injuries or tendonitis and just fucking things flaring up. See, NASCAR's, that's an interesting one because you're not really close to anyone. You're in a car and you have the pit crew kind of around you. But what about fans and stuff? Huh. Jacqueline, I think we are opening too early. Yeah. Yeah. If you can stay away from work, if you can still keep a distance, I would recommend it. Just, that's what I'm going to do. Well, I thought about this already. I thought about putting just a pair of nuts on it. Making face mask merch. Thought about it. Yeah. No, not really. A nose and beard. I don't know if it would look that good. Like you're wearing a whole fucking beard. We'll see. Maybe. It depends on how long this goes or what's going to happen. How does it feel to carry the weight of the obesity epidemic? I don't think I'm carrying it myself. There are other people making videos like this. Not enough, though. Not enough. Not enough people are talking about it no. Look, I can talk about this. This fucking hair in my face. I can talk about overeating and mukbangers and stuff in any way that I want. I choose this way because it cuts through the noise. People don't want to listen to actual information. People want to laugh. People want to have fun, but it's also important to send a proper message. And when you have these fucking jabronis with millions of subscribers, there's so many fucking people that follow these accounts and they just trash their bodies. And it just perpetuates this idea that you can eat whatever the fuck you want as long as you exercise. You can just eat garbage. It's not the reality. That's why the entire collective health of the country is just plummeting. Do you ever have acne? I used to when I was growing up. Every once in a while, I have a couple now. I mean, every once in a while you break out a little bit sometimes, but oftentimes it's because of habits. I noticed that like months ago. I just tried a couple because Mama Swole was eating some cheese and I had a little bit of dairy a couple of days. Try every once in a while. You kind of dip your toe in the water and just try something. It was grass fed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, what the hell, try it. But then I noticed I started getting a little bit of like some, and then I stopped eating it and then it went away. So. The green mat that you have, I think it was from Zero Shoes. You can go on their website. I think they have it. I think it was from there. I don't know what it was called there. XERO Shoes. It's a shoe company, but I think they have that's where I got it. Maybe their accessory section or something. Yes. People need to think of it as overall lifestyle change instead of some overnight magic. Yep. Good luck convincing people that. Monday sack from me from London. Welcome. Cameron, do you ever see or predict the US and UK reversing the ridiculous obesity epidemic in high numbers? Do I think it's going to get worse? Oh, I definitely think it's going to get worse. Most certainly, especially after the quarantine. I think it's going to get I think it's going to continue to get I think it's already getting worse. It's going to continue to get worse because this is something that has to happen from the ground up. This is not something that the government's, hey, eat better and do this. Unfortunately, if people just actually, if the message was eat better, exercise more, and they say that, but people actually doing that are two different things. So this is a generational problem. This is how you're raised. This is how your parents educate you. And this is how your friends that you've chosen based around drinking and alcohol. There's so many different things that are tied to this. There's so many more things that are tied to your habits than just, are you eating the bad food? A lot of it's who you're hanging out with and who you attach your identity to. And it's a lot of insecurity and a lot of self-esteem problems. So let's get into saving. We're going to skip the Swole fam portion today because we're going to get into a lot of that stuff tomorrow in the accountability meeting. So I want to remind you all, remind you all that tomorrow is the accountability meeting, and that is for members only. So if you're interested in joining the Swole fam, check out swolenormousx.com, and you could join for less than $3. So you'll get there for tomorrow's episode, but it won't be streamed on any service. It's only private for members. So tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time, I'm going to go over the new releases inside Swolenormous X. So let's give away this fucking Swole card, fam. Sunday Sack, who is going to win today's Swole card? Scroll. Who gets some Sunday Sack? Come on now. Come on now. Big money. No one. Not enough people are doing some Sunday Sack. Oh, at the fucking buzzer. Ellen Josephine, congratulations. Very nice. Congratulations. Thank you so much for playing. Reminder, if you would like to get your Swole card mailed to you, Ellen, and I'm sure you do, send us an email to support@swolenormous.com with the hashtag Swole card or Swole card 1458, and of course your mailing address in the body of the email. Everyone say congratulations, Ellen, for winning some Sunday Sack. Where are you going to put this one? Where are you going to put that one? Where the fuck are you going to put that one? There you go. OMG, I've been waiting for so long. How about another one? Congratulations again. There you go. Yow. Good for you. Where are you going to put that one? You get some Sunday Sack. You have like your friends and family around, like, what's that up there? What's that little thing up there? What is that? Oh, don't worry. It's just this podcast I listen to. It's just this fitness program. Sunday Sack. It's like, okay. I like that. I'm on my pin board at my desk. So everyone say congratulations. Be nice. You beaches. Come on. Stop tithing. Tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow, the accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern time, you can win a Swole fam card, because on Mondays we go Swole fam. We go deep. So new releases, and we'll talk shop, and it'll be awesome. So I'll see you all tomorrow for episode 1459. If you are a member, remember, if you want to join, you can go and join right now at swolenormousx.com. And if you sign up for the Swole fam membership, you get access to Swole TV as well as the private group. So you'll be there for tomorrow's episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for episode 1459 of the Most Muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. And new NOC coming tomorrow. A new NOC dropping right here on the Swolenormous channel, so don't miss it. Hit that notification bell, and make sure you like this video, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and I'll see you tomorrow for 1459 Swole fam. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Ya boy. Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't left and they so mad, it's like,
Then yeah, I found that young